Meeting starting at 6:30 p.m. For the agenda approval of the minutes 1/17/13. Warrants, there is no mail. Old business will be backhoe bid opening. New business, approval of the general fund budget. Approval of the road fund budget. Approval of ballot articles, which there will be two additional one to be added and one to be voted on. An approval of the 213 warning as presented. You take a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of 1/17/13.
Carried.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Warrants. General fund, 125.13, in the amount of $18,775.47. Most of these are payroll transfer, IRS, Vermont Department of Labor, and insurance and health insurance premiums. Payroll, 120.13 to 125.13, in the amount of $8,542.16. Overtime on road crews and constable there. Motion on the warrants.
Moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's no old business there, or no mail, so we'll go into backhoe bid opening. Okay, I'll let you open one, I'll let you open one, how's that? I'll let you, Mikey.
It's Christmas all over again.
Sure. Okay.
Bid was for purchase, right, not a lease?
Yeah, I got both on that one.
I bid on that one too. I'm not writing down the lease because what the bid was for.
Okay. What did you put for a figure here?
I put down the one without the trade, then I put trade and what the figure was.
Okay, but you come up with 97.
2,505, that's 505, and then.
Yeah, but that's 97,000.
Yeah, then this one's.
200.
700,
It's not
79.
250 unless it's an 05. Too many numbers there.
Yeah.
Right?
On this one.
So I didn't see one either.
Yeah. Wrote that down, but you're right, because I put the
Right.
792.50
Right.
here.
So there's one of those numbers is wrong.
My God, you didn't have it.
Yeah, this. What to tell you?
What we can do is, let me write this down, have Linda go subtract.
I'm gonna say 70.
Yeah, but Linda can
92.50.
subtract the trade-in from it.
Yeah,
And that
get what
should
the
come up
figure
with a figure is.
Yeah, it should, well, there's no 5 on the end, so it's gotta be, the 5 is off, so it's 250. You're right. Yeah.
Linda, just for tricks and giggles, would you, for me, take this number of trade against the total figure?
Look at the second one too, the second one, I did the similar thing.
Because I'm looking at too many numbers here. See the figures? One too many numbers. I'm not sure which numbers. So if we subtract,
Yeah, if you subtract one from the other issue, you're fine.
I must have 2 on this.
You did get 2 different machines.
Setting the principal's off a little bit.
Brings back memories.
Yeah, unpleasant ones, right?
We're usually good.
Be good as long as they ready for it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
the 5's not on yet.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Okay,
hard to see
thank you.
maybe.
Yep.
All the papers in there. Tractor for a second. Yeah, it's a tractor. It's got a bucket on it. Huh?
How many bids total did we get?
4, I believe, right?
Anybody see the one from John Deere?
No, that one stays on this way.
That one stays down here? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's here. How many of you looked at? 3, right?
Yeah, we-
Third here.
You must have 4 in front of you. That'll be 4 that you're looking at, okay. We got 5, right?
yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Plus I knew there was 4 on the table when I left.
Okay,
Yeah, there's 4 here.
there's 4 altogether, but there's 2 in 1, okay. That gives you 5, but there's only 4 bids, right? That's where I was getting confused. I've got 3
But
envelopes.
one of them has two
Two in
different
it,
tracks.
right.
One has 2.
Yes,
What one?
more tracks.
On the tracks. That must be the deer.
There's Howland. New Howland.
Bid package.
This is the other one.
I think everybody's seen it.
Why does it say that there? What did you write on this one?
Right there. And then there's 18.
I'm going to open this up. Alright, I see it. That's what the price is. Total delivery.
Everybody see that one?
I don't think.
Look at 'em.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. That's 1 of 2 in that package.
This case.
That's 92 work.
110.5. Oh, down there. 92.5.
More tracks. He's done looking at it.
I think that's that one right there.
No, this is just not there.
Nope.
Put in there, so.
Alright, that's one thing Lonnie's both got in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That goes for that.
Yep, the same, did you?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then that. So 25 and 79. This one, no trade.
Right.
One, the Yeah. End up with these two, with a trade of 20.
That's Milton.
So those things.
I just gotta get Nortrax back because I didn't get the machine. Got the deer on the first, I didn't get the other one. That's,
The two machines?
they're both deer.
Yeah, they're both for deer.
Okay. That I didn't get. All right.
One's a 310 and the other one's a 410.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Nortec, right. Yeah. You want Casey to look at these things while these guys are looking at the other ones?
Yes. Try to get them together. Okay, Milton. That one's together. We got two more. Two more. Ronnie's got one and Dale's got one. So there's three. And your fourth one, Ronnie's got. That'll go with Milton in this right here. Hi, Keith. 73. So I can take 73, you take 10. Alright. No trade.
You see, this is what I got in both of them.
You done with the bottom one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You refigure.
See, guys, did you put numbers down as far as the size? I didn't. They should have. I did put on a couple of them, but I didn't on all of them. Okay.
Everybody look at that one. The deer.
Yeah, that's what, let's see if that's again. That's what I want to get.
What's that? Okay, what?
310.
Casey, you done with capital?
Yeah.
Are you done with capital?
No, I haven't got to look from that.
Mike, the one you're on, trade, you should trade on that one.
There's a capital tractor.
The guard. Okay. That's what I know. No.
None.
Capital tractor had none.
Right, that's what, you've got
Figure it
capital then.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought you had
I got the specs.
roof
That's what we
guard,
got right now.
roof guard or whatever that is.
65 was the trade on his.
Roof guard, okay. $16,500, I got $16,700.
Take a look at it and see. Oh, no, you're talking about the price. I thought you said trade. Trade and allowance.
Trade and allowance. Okay, that's the lease payment, right. 16.5, okay, yep,
I didn't look at what the leases were.
yep. I did on a couple, then I decided that wasn't the way we were supposed to be going. Okay, the only thing I've got is,
Might end up doing a lease purchase, but that probably doesn't make much difference once you do the price.
right. And he needs a cap when he gets done. Actually, need an allowance too.
If we were doing the lease purchase, we'd have to do the numbers again to see what it costs for the length of time. It could be different than what the bid is. We got 0% interest going for purchase, which usually doesn't happen. So are we looking to do a lease purchase where you pay over time, or you're looking to buy this straight up?
I think that was the plan originally.
Not listening, listen. Capital.
Well, then we'd have to do some calculations.
Yeah, I need the model on it, that's all.
What's that on, which one?
And the one you're looking at right now, Capital.
Looking there to get the actual
That's
model.
in New Holland. I think that,
Beef, 95C.
I think we ought to go back and get the lease purchase plan, because we did talk on that. We weren't gonna belly up and pay for this in cash. Which means that other figure is important.
Yep.
That one I did have, so just double check me.
You had the latest and greatest fund balance?
That one again, so. See, we get our hands slapped if we're in class. I think I've got that one. That's, capital, right?
Yeah, no, capital tractor.
And New
I
Holland.
didn't get was, what's the number? B95C.
Do they give you the percentage? That tells you.
Yeah, I was just going by the figure when I wrote it.
Oh, this is 5-year. I don't know, did they all be 5
They
year?
were all 5s, or at least the ones I've looked at so far.
One had a 4-year one in there too.
Did it? Okay, I missed it then. All right.
Capital had a 4-year.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah, 4 and a 5.
Yeah.
it makes it more.
What's the amount? We'll give this to you.
What's this one?
Nelson.
Yeah, I just want to see what we have money-wise. Get into this stuff.
Let's see.
What you got? Fund there. Say it now.
What are you missing?
Capital tractor.
I think it's right here. Yeah. Right up, in case you notice it.
Yeah, I'm still not finding Milton's
haven't done it, because the way
Bring your checkbook.
did the bid we sent out ask for a lease or purchase agreement, or did it just add?
No, I think it did.
That's how far behind I am.
Okay.
The lease price, on the bottom, isn't it?
Yes,
Right.
on most of them, but
Should have been right there.
Casey, on Cat, did you get model number? Cat. Did you catch the model
It's
number?
right there, it's on the,
Oh, okay, on that one, all right. Well, I know that was a flyer, so I wasn't sure that was the machine, okay.
I referred to the flyer.
Okay.
I was confused until I looked at the flyer myself.
All right, what was our 4-year one? Did you figure that one? That's a 5-year on Cat.
Captain had the 4-year one in there.
They did, I wrote it down, they had a 4 and 5 must be.
Yeah, that's the bigger end of 4. No, next one, this one, get it. That's the 5.
23,153.
Yep,
Okay, now,
That's
that was for
4-year.
4. See, I had that for 5, all right.
the 5 is that one.
Okay.
Now, which one was that one?
Captain.
That's New Holland, that's Cat.
Yeah,
They've all got it.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm on the Cat. No,
okay.
Borrow this for a sec.
To make up my scribble.
doesn't say the percentage, but 5-year.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, the only one, Nortrax is the one that didn't give us the lease. That's the only one I didn't write it down.
Were all the lease purchase agreements that were in the contract, bids with trade-in? Or were they without trade-in?
New Holland had no trade-in.
Right.
Okay, but the rest of them, when they did the lease agreement, they did it with trade-in, because this one said with trade-in. I haven't seen the other ones to see if they actually used that verbiage, or if they say lease agreement.
That one's different.
Wife's ring.
No, you ignored it.
I don't see a lease on,
Which one's that?
on John Deere or Nortrax.
AD 410. Yep, I think this is 310.
Can you help me, did you find one on Nortrax on the lease? They didn't. You don't have it down either?
No.
Okay. So I didn't miss it, it's not there, okay.
This one. Does it say trade-in or no trade-in?
One of them didn't.
No, I mean, with the lease agreement, doesn't say that it's, includes the trade-in with that lease price, or if it's the lease price without the trade-in.
5-year lease, 2.96.
Let me see your scribbling there. Looking at mine.
Case,
That's
Yes.
with trade.
Yes.
That's with trade.
It says it right there.
Oh, it does.
That's, they had it for,
That's a 1.5.
yeah, 156.
That's the payment.
just want to make sure I get the figures right. Okay,
There.
All right.
16, okay.
Okay. Trade. One of them said with trade. I don't.
That's for 5.
No, it does.
Okay, New Holland was the only one with no trade.
Okay. The other one I don't have is the Capital in Nortrek for.
Okay.
Casey's still looking.
Okay, New Holland. There's Capital down there. 5-year lease.
18,153.
Yes. That was 5-year.
No trade though.
Yeah, trade. No trade. No trade, right.
So it had no trade up above.
Yep.
Okay, so that leaves me with, what do you get from Nortrek? With the 2 John Deeres. Did they give you any lease on that? They got it.
I don't have a lease on either one of them.
Lengths of time on them, huh?
But he still got that.
There might be different lengths of time on
Maybe
them.
get
Different model,
papers
310 to
back on that.
410.
I don't
I
think
know, but they get the
you don't have
same.
it either, do you?
What's that?
You have a lease on
lease
the
agreement.
There isn't
Nortrek.
nothing on
on the John Deeres?
And I didn't see one. Mike,
Well,
Nortrax, do you see a lease?
No, there
John
isn't nothing
Deere's?
on
I didn't
it.
think so either. Okay.
Well, I'm just looking at yours.
Yep.
The Nortrek,
Okay.
John Deere.
Yep.
I don't see nothing.
yeah,
That's a trade-in.
yeah, it's trade-in.
Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, the lease?
Lease thing.
John Deere?
Nope. John Deere's right there.
See that one?
There is a lease in there, but I think it's wrote out different on the right page.
So I talked.
Okay, none of us found it, so.
Okay, the 410 is one power check of 3.3 to 2.3% and nominal annual rate of 2.3%. And payments. Monthly. Year for the 410. I'm reading this right. I'm going to say it's 16,324. That's the 410. 16,324. 46.
The trade-in.
46 cents.
16, 324, 46 on the 410.
Those were trade-in.
Those were three trade-in.
Okay, what's the next one? They did this one. They both say 410. That was the 92.5, which is the 410. Okay.
You can say that.
16, 324. 46.
Well, I'm looking at this.
Take a peek.
That's it, that huge.
I'm assuming 5 years.
That's 5 years.
Gotta see what's gonna develop.
Started in the year 2013 and then 2017.
I couldn't buy anything like that.
What's interesting, it says 410K. And when I go to the next one, which has a higher price,
410K. Okay, we marked it wrong.
yeah, one of these is,
Yeah,
whichever
first
the
one's
cheaper,
got-
whichever the
first one's
cheaper
gotta be
one,
310.
whichever the cheaper one, that's gotta be this one, because it's
Yeah.
16, the other one's 19.
Right. The other one's 19 lease?
Yeah, it's 19, 370.27.
Okay, we gotta switch figures there.
You can tell that they're just, yeah, that's gotta be the 410.
Yep.
Unless they go by smaller numbers for better machines.
I don't think so.
Generally.
I don't think so.
Been in the business for years, I haven't seen it go that way, but
Patrons, Richard. 19 figures,
310.
310.
Is the 16, 324.
370, 27. No, wait a minute. 16.
1937, 27, 410. 16, 324, 46 is the 310. So they get when they make the numbers close.
The other one's 19, 370, and 7, 410.
5 year.
Okay.
5.
So they're all 5 year. You said one of these was 4 years. You said one of these was 4 years? Was any of these 4 years? I had
Yeah.
5 years.
Capital tractor had one for
Capital.
4 years, 4 and
They
5.
don't have a trade, so it's off the figure. Okay. Are you ready to say this confusion out loud?
Go right ahead, I'll just let one last.
All right. Okay. All right. I think it's Beauregard Equipment. And as the case, I don't have the model number.
580.
580.
Super N.
Okay. We have a figure of 95,744
Without trade.
without trade. Trade of 16,500. A lease payment 5 year 16,787.05. Nortrex, we have 2. We have John Deere 310, figure of 97,250. Would trade 79,250. Lease of 16,324.46. Second vehicle, these are 5 year leases. John Deere 410, figure of 110,500, a trade of 18,000, figure 92,500, lease payment of 19,370.27. Cat under Milton 420 model 93,056, trade-in up 20,000. Balance would be 73,056. 5 year payment lease 15,609.51. New Holland capital tractor a B952. 84,026.62. No trade allowance there. I'm sorry. You could holler at any time.
We'll give you a copy.
No, I better read it. Should never read my writing.
Right as well.
Yeah. Anybody holler if I'm going.
I got it.
Okay. Because we can repeat this. It's a little confusing. Okay, where would you like to be?
New Holland.
New Holland. That's capital tractor. Price at 84,026.62.
Model.
Model, I believe, is B95C.
C.
There was no trade allowance. A lease of 4 years at 23,153.14. For 5 years, 18,153.28. Everybody get the numbers?
Yes.
Need anything? Okay.
Total of 5 different tractors.
We have 5 different tractors, 4 different dealers.
Okay. That's what I got.
Conversation on the
Let's ask Casey.
said above. Anything from the board? Okay. We will ask our road
Casey says
foreman to
first.
speak then.
Well, the first thing off is you got 5 bids and 5 different sizes of machines. There's 4 of them are 18,000 pound machines, and the 310 is a 16,000 pound machine, which is substantially smaller than what we already have.
Okay. Okay. So we could eliminate that one in our lines of thinking
I would
for,
eliminate that one because it doesn't have closed center hydraulics. The New Holland doesn't have closed center hydraulics either. But the other machines are the right weight. They're all spec the same from the specs that I saw. There's a couple things that some didn't have, but they were all really close to meeting everything we're looking for.
okay. Well, then that leaves us with Case, Cat, and the John Deere. So I'll run the figures again. Case 95,744. 410 John Deere's 110,500. These were without trade figures. And the Cat at 93,056. I don't have the trade. Trade is 16. I didn't put the figure down for Case, and I should.
The
trade?
Yes.
Trade is 16.5.
Right. I didn't put a total on the difference.
79,244.
After seeing Cat, though, I want to make it 18. Just kidding.
You didn't want to make it 28?
Okay. All right. So your totals are Case 79,244 would trade. Nortrax, the John Deere, is 92,500, and Milton would trade is 73,056. So those are your bottom line figures. You want your leases?
No, I think, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about it first.
Okay.
Basically, the board has previous discussions that talked about actually keeping the older one we have now at the transfer station and buying this device, so there wouldn't be a trade if that was the case. And if we did that, looking at the prices without the trade, it's still pretty obvious which one's the cheaper of the bunch. But I guess I want the board to discuss and think about that option again, because that was one of the things we talked about doing, simply to try and have a machine that doesn't have to worry about being yanked over the road to go place to place. We'll have one that's left where it is, and Casey would have his 2 machines to do his job. And as he said before, he was taking one out of the transfer station about 95% of the time of that machine's use. So it makes sense to give him almost 100% time of a new machine. And the other machine, if we can actually get it taken care of for as little as we were talking about, I think it was another $5,000, would be cheap to just leave it there and let it run. That's my take on it. I don't know about the rest of the board. It just means we don't have a trade. We go with the prices that are full.
What's your feeling on that?
Well, my feeling is that I think originally in 1994 when the town purchased that machine, I think it was $65,000 is what that machine cost. Now Here you are 19 years later.
Right.
Somebody's offering you $20,000 for it.
Kind of my thoughts too.
The other thing is I don't need 2 backhoes because one's only going to get used occasionally. I use one machine pretty much all year. When we go to work in an area, we work in one area, we move on easily to the next area. It isn't like we're traveling from one end of town to the other. The backhoe that's at the transfer station maybe uses it in a 3-day period, maybe 4 hours at most. And I think if I needed a backhoe for an hour or 2 or whatever, that having the backhoe at the transfer station is fine. We've been doing all the maintenance on them anyway, so I think just the 2 backhoes is probably more than enough for the town. That's my thought.
Yeah.
I have no comment. I'll have to go with what Casey was saying.
The other thing that I want to mention too is we changed the hydraulic filter on the 460 in the cab backhoe, and it's a 10 micron filter. It's not, of course, it's not going to get it all out, but any of the damage that's been done has probably already been done, if anything at all.
Right.
We went 4.5 years on the other pump, so it took 4.5 years for the debris to actually disturb that pump enough to, and once the pump was gone, we still got a $950 core. So we got $1,300 invested into the whole 4-year pump. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to spend another $5 grand on it. And you know, it's probably just either, if you're going to keep it, best off just to change the filters every 10 hours for a little while and get as much out of it as you possibly can get, or your best bet is just to trade it off, because you're going to get 20 grand for it.
Yeah. I like the 20 grand. Here, Mike?
Casey, with the last 3, the 410, the Cat 420, and the Case,
580.
Yeah. Is there any one of these a much better piece of equipment than one another? Or are they all pretty well equal?
You know, this gentleman from Beauregard was over and looked at the Cat that we got. He gave me the literature on it, but I didn't get any of the specifications, so I have no idea. I can't really say one way or the other about the case, because I really haven't had a chance to go through any of the specifications. That's what I was looking at over there a few minutes ago. I was looking at the weights and hydraulic pressures and that kind of stuff, and it's all about the same. I mean, they do have a feature that's, what's that, power lift?
Mm-hmm.
Is that an option?
That's standard.
Standard equipment.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good feature, but you know, it's hard to beat the stuff that we've been using. I don't know. That's my opinion.
And these last 3 help meet the specs.
Last 3 all meet the specs, yes.
You know, then we have Cat is 21-day delivery time. The Case is 90 days, and the other one's 45 to 60 days.
I don't think there's a panic in getting it.
No.
We're working just fine.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You all set, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. I just want to make sure they're all pretty well equal.
Ronnie?
Ready?
Well, I didn't realize we were gonna buy one today, so I'm kind of caught off guard on that, I guess.
Well.
And I didn't look at these brochures or nothing else. I mean, I glanced at them right now, but 5 minutes, I don't know what ones.
How good are
I
the,
kinda like the case myself, but
how long are the bids
that's my
for?
own personal opinion.
That's what I was gonna ask
What do
next.
you think?
I like them, a lot
They
of
were the
guys got
very
'em.
first one to build
I don't.
integrated
How long is your
loader
bid good
backhoe.
for?
What's up?
How long is a good bid for?
What do they say on
90
the, on the
days,
bids? Are they usually 30 or 90 days? I didn't look
Usually
at
they're
that.
30, but
30?
So you got 30 days to make a decision anyways.
yeah, you certainly don't need a decision tonight.
Well, I think we ought to toss it around for a couple days anyway, see what,
Actually,
Look over the
I
bush
certainly
ways.
added all my
I
spec.
get, well, that gives Casey a little more chance to look at some of this stuff too.
right, I mean, the spec sheets are there and everything.
I got that, yeah, that's what I was looking at over there.
I'll make a motion that we table it, when's our next regular meeting?
February 8th, no, 7th.
7th?
Yeah,
Second
February
motion.
7th.
Is there
There's no meeting next
anything
week.
pushing on the 7th that we need to have done? We're doing it all tonight, right? All the warning and all that? We should be fine. Is that
So
the,
that gives us a couple weeks out.
I'll second that motion.
So the 7th?
Yes.
and we'll make a decision.
Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Hey,
Aye.
Aye. That's good. We thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you, gentlemen, and
Really appreciate the option, the opportunity. that
we'll
is.
have all the figures in front of us, so it won't be an hour sit.
in case they wanna know, 7 PM, right?
over.
Yes.
7 PM.
Yes, 7 o'clock will be the
7
meeting.
o'clock's our meeting.
And This was a special warrant meeting, yes.
7th on the 7th. Somebody's a lucky day.
Great. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
See you later.
You guys all have a good one.
Yep.
Stay
Good
warm.
night, thank you. Opening 2/7.
What's
Well, if you don't meet your specs, you don't meet your specs, huh?
it's basically a Ford, right?
Okay. Now, no. I'm gonna regroup myself here.
Are these gonna be, remain here, so we can just come in and look at them?
I was just gonna ask if you were leaving the stuff.
Or well, we can go to the garage and look at them too, right?
The only thing I need is, I've already been through the John Deere stuff and then the Caterpillar stuff and, some of the Holland stuff.
I like to leave them here, and then if we get a minute, we can
Well,
stop in and,
we nailed it down to 3 machines, right? The John
Yes.
Deere 410
Yep.
and the
And the case and the cat.
Case, cat,
Case
John
and the
Deere.
cat. Those are the only 3 that were really,
I would have went and looked at a case, but the closest one was in Plainsfield, New Hampshire. Closest one. That's where I may have to go at some point.
take Ronnie with you. He likes to go over the road.
Yeah, right, I'll go for a ride.
Right, I'll go for a ride. I like to ride, just like a dog, I'll drool on the dash.
hang
He
on.
likes looking at that heavy equipment. Don't let me kid you.
I'll come and get you.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, new business. Approve the general fund budget. All right. Article 4, shall the voters appropriate $817,070 for general expenses of the town, which $486,301.59 is to be raised by taxes, $109,618.41 from previous year undesignated surplus funds.
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Approval, road fund budget. Shall the voters appropriate $676,070 for the maintenance and construction of highways, the town of Pownal, which $478,577.70 shall be raised by taxes, $67,792.30 from prior year undesignated surplus funds.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Before we do the approval of the ballot articles, there are two additional articles. There's a ballot article petition from the Turning Point in the amount of $2,500. It's Article 26. That was petitioned to be put onto the ballot articles. Article 27. I'm asking for a motion from the board. Shall the town of Pownal vote to eliminate the office of town auditor, and the select board shall contract with public accountant? That is, I'm looking for a motion. Shall the town of Pownal vote to eliminate the offices of town auditor, and the select board will contract with a public accountant?
So would we hire a certified public accountant?
We would hire a certified public accountant.
This is different than the yearly audit. This would be an accountant that would review our books from time to time?
This is an accountant that we have in place currently.
That does our yearly review?
Does our yearly and whatever else they do throughout the year. There are several times, I guess, they stop in during the year.
How many times they stop in during a year? I'm asking our administrative assistant.
We usually work with the treasurer.
Do you know any rough ideas how often they walk into the building? Or is this when they're coming in several times a year when we're going through the audit process that we ask them to do yearly?
Okay, let me help with some of this. Opinions from Secretary of State. A town may vote to hire an accountant in lieu of elected auditors. Municipalities may vote by paper ballot or Australian ballot in towns that have voted to do public questions Australian ballot to eliminate the office of auditor. In such cases, the select board must contract with a public accountant CPA if the town passes such an article at town meeting.
I've seen what you read off. The question that I have, I guess, is the big thing is, at the moment, we have somebody that's sort of doing a forensic study of our books that is looking at it in detail as it's unprecedented from what we've ever seen in the past. In that process, you're bound and determined to find some errors. It's unfortunate the method in which the person is then proceeding with those errors, but does that mean that we shouldn't have a town auditor that actually looks at our book throughout the years at a more frequent time than you would a certified public accountant that you would hire to do a yearly budget or a yearly audit process? And I think we're doing a disservice to the town if we take away that public service that is done by a few people who does an excellent job and keeps the board informed because of our current situation with what we have with an auditor. Why should we hurt the town in the long run by reducing an elected official position simply because we're having a confrontation with the person instead of trying to see that it's done proper?
Well,
that's my
opinion, Nelson, is this. I think we've got to, we have a problem. If we have problems, that's fine. But when we contract out or go with an outside auditor, auditing firm, what have you, I think stipulations can be put in there where that it can be built into what we want them to be doing in the contract. I mean, if they want to come in once a month and do a scout, they can do it.
I agree with you. So in other words, what you're saying is you'd rather control how the audit process is done by specifying what people can do versus having an auditor who is elected by the town coming in and looking at our books?
That's not the case. And if you want an auditor, then what I'm saying is you put down what you would like them to do. As far, if you want a full-blown audit, or whatever, or you want a partial audit, say checking vacation time or what have you, then they should be able to do that under a contract.
We're not the only town that's gone this route. We are eliminating 3 positions and having a CPA or auditor firm do this in a professional manner. It is up to us in-house as a select board to pay more attention to what goes on for the taxpayers of this town and also save them money. So right at the moment, we are duplicating certain items and maybe fine-tuning some of the other ones, but I think if we fine-tune within-house and eliminate these positions and put more responsibility on ourselves to keep an eye on what's going on, that we're headed in the right direction in not doing an injustice to the townspeople.
Let me make one more statement, then I'll give the board a chance to respond. All I know is at the town meeting last year, you stood up and accused me of spending $3,000 of the town money that shouldn't have been spent. And after the audit process went through, it was found that that money was due and it was paid properly. And that was because of an auditor that did that process. What we're trying to do is make sure that these things are done correctly. And what I see happening is more and more control is trying to be taken over by the selectmen in the method that those audits and things are done, and I think that's wrong for the town to do that. You need elected officials to balance out against other elected officials so that you don't have one party controlling the books. That's my statement.
And I disagree with your findings on how that particular item was found and resolved. I don't believe it was resolved. It was resolved by a one-sided conversation, which was put to rest, but there was never fact-finding on, was it actually due the town or was it an error? It was in dispute, the last I knew. And that dispute had never been settled. What we got was a call to Fairpoint saying that, yes, it was owed. Well, I don't know what you would expect them to say, but I gotta believe that's what they would have said.
If they owed the money, I would have said it too.
Yeah, but that was a fact that was an argument and dispute.
Well, I think that I'm not in favor of taking the government out of the town. And I think that's what you do when you got somebody coming in periodically. And also you have a board of auditors. So these people are supposed to hash this out. We've had little problems, but I honestly don't think we ought to jump in the river because we had a little problem. I think we ought to take and continue on the way we are, because it is a check and balance. Sometimes, hey, look, I'm pretty conservative. A lot of people are liberal, but that don't mean I can't listen to them or whatever. That's the way it is as far as I'm concerned. I think that it's worked fine for years and years and years, right up until this last scrimmage there. And I think that I thought we made a little headway the last time, but I'm not sure.
Mike?
Well, in my opinion, I've heard a lot of town people out there, and they don't like seeing Pownal being made funny of. I think we put it to town people. They want to get rid of it.
It's going to be put to the townspeople, but I mean, I don't think the select board needs any more jobs. I think we got enough jobs.
So put it to the town people, put it on the ballot. If they voted in to eliminate it, they eliminate it. So with that in mind, I'd make a motion to put it on the ballot. I mean, we have nothing to win or lose. It's all a complaint coming from the town people about certain things. It's time for them to speak up on what they want to do.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor for it to be a ballot article number 27. I have a second on that.
I'll second that, puppy.
Okay, there's a second on the floor. Call the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
Opposed?
Nay.
With that, that will,
You gotta approve the warning now.
yeah, that would go on number 27, so now we would go,
What is turning
You want to
point?
approve the ballot articles from
that a
what, 1 to
casino?
what? Which 1 to 27?
1 to 27. Yes, 1 to 27.
So moved.
Can we ask what the heck is actually his turning point?
It is a charitable,
Here it is.
it's a Turning Point Recovery Center. I'm not really sure myself, it's the first I'd heard of it. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve
Approve the ballot articles.
the ballot articles
To be warned.
to be warned with the 2 additional ones that we just talked about. Okay, guys?
Need a second.
I need a second on it.
Who's the motion?
I made the motion.
I have one question.
Well, we can discuss
Okay,
the.
I need a second, then we need the second talk.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Okay, now,
The question is, I see a signature on here, unless I know this girl is in Florida.
well,
Yeah, she may claim a residence here.
How many signatures are there total?
I don't know, there's probably enough, but
yeah, if there's more than enough, then they're still all right.
Usually that's approved by the
Oh, yeah.
town clerk as
Right.
something
if
review
she's
it.
still registered here, but I know she's in Florida, so she can't sign this thing.
Maybe she came back for a visit?
Not yet, April.
Okay,
I have no idea. Never-
Opinions.
Okay.
with that discretionary figure,
I think there was more than enough, so even
Well,
with
there's a ton of people.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be in here.
so,
8.
100 and
how many did you need? 20-something?
Got 124.
Yes, it's
I think you need 121, don't you?
So there's plenty. I'm just curious. I mean,
I think so too.
but what I'm getting at, if there's that one signature like that,
That's the town clerk's,
Right,
Job, not ours.
job to verify they registered voters.
Right.
So, you know, you're questioning the town clerk.
and with enough on there,
They even got them on the back of the,
yeah.
but what I'm questioning is that signature got on there. How many other ones are not legit, but probably not 124, so.
Right. Okay,
Hearing.
we have motion and a second. So, all in favor?
Like,
All right, all in favor to move the warning?
like,
Aye.
Put that on the ballot there for that.
That's on, that's number 26 on the ballot articles.
Yeah, I haven't
Is
voted.
that what we're voting on, just one, or we?
No, we're
No,
voting
we're
on all the ballot
all the ballot
articles,
articles, and I haven't
which in-
voted yet.
which includes that and
And the
Article
article for the
27.
auditor. So I'm abstained from that, just so you know. The ballot articles being put on. You got enough votes, you don't need mine.
are you a vote or are you an abstention?
I'm abstaining due to the one that I voted against.
Same here.
All right.
Same here. The others I'm fine with. Yeah, just that one.
Okay, with that said, if there is
I showed them what it is.
nothing more before this board,
We gotta do the warning. You gotta do
oh, I'm
the
sorry,
warning.
yes,
Otherwise, that's what we're here for
Okay.
tonight.
the inhabitants of the town of Pownal are qualified to vote in the town meeting are hereby notified and warned to meet at the Pownal Elementary School in said town on Monday, March 4th, 2013 at 7:30 p.m. o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, March 5th, 2013 for Australian ballot voting at the Pownal Center Firehouse to vote on the following issues and candidates. Moderator for 1 year, selectman for 3 years, selectman for 1 year, selectman for 1 year, lister 1 year, lister 3 years, auditor 1 year, auditor 3 years, constable 2 years, town agent 1 year, grand juror 1 year, grand juror 1 year, trustees of public monies 2 years, trustee of public monies 2 years. The floor meeting on March 4th will be open to Pownal Elementary School at 7:30 p.m. for Articles 1 through 2, and then stand adjourned till 7 a.m. at the Pownal Center Firehouse for Australian ballot voting on Articles 3 through 27. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Register to vote, you must apply by 2 p.m. Wednesday, February 27th, 2013, if you want to vote at town meeting. Absentee ballots are available. If you will be out of town on meeting day, you are ill or disabled, apply at the town clerk's office by Monday, March 4th, 2013. You or a family member may apply in person or by phone or in writing.
you know when the deadline is for To register to vote?
So moved to approve the warning as read.
Second.
Then you discuss, what was your question?
As the deadline. to
Register to vote, you must apply by 2 PM Wednesday, February 27th.
Okay, so there's still time.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the warning as read.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That concludes our meeting.
funny-
I will take a
I move to adjourn.
motion to and second, all in favor.
Aye.
Good meeting.
Well, it was great, but okay.
Good meeting. Come on, it's good to have a little discussion.